Welcome to another video class 10th. Today we will continue, we'll start with a new chapter, not continue because we have already finished with our chapter number 3, right? So we will start with a new chapter today, that is chapter number 4, consumer protection, right? So before I start with this topic, I want to tell you that this consumer protection is also there in your economics, okay? That is in the later part, that is in the later units. We will do it later. In this, it's in the starting only in commercial studies. This topic is in the starting only, at the start only, this topic introduces itself. So, if you prepare this, you are also preparing for your economics, right? Do not forget that. So, whatever is there in this chapter will be there in these in the chapters of economics. Few points will be there which might not be here and might be there, and vice versa. So we'll cover that accordingly, but most of the things are similar. So if you are preparing this chapter, which you have to prepare, and it is very important considering our boards, this is an important chapter. So if you when you prepare this, keep it in mind that you're preparing it for your two subjects, that is economics and commercial studies as well. So let's get started. So now, first is consumer protection. There is a term, consumer protection. Consumer protection, right? What is this consumer protection? Consumer protection means that you being a consumer needs some protection. Easy, right? You being a consumer, you need protection. You need protection from what? You need to be protected, and you need to protect yourself from the false activities which are going on in the market, which are going on in the economy, right? And they might be mischievous, they might be false, they might be fraud, and you might get cheated because of those activities. So it is important for you to be aware. It is important for you to be a rational consumer. Who is a rational consumer? Now, a rational consumer is someone who knows about himself, and he knows what is good for himself and what is bad for himself. He knows about goods and bads, okay, and he calculates everything and he manages everything according to that, and then he acts, right? So you should be a rational consumer. You should know what are the expiry dates. You should know what are your rights. You should know that nobody can cheat you by selling more than the MRP. You should know that you cannot be cheated if a product is expired. If it says that it has been expired, nobody can fool you by saying that no, it's just the print which is there and you can use it beyond this period, you can use it beyond this date. No. Okay. So you have the right to say no, and you also have the right to raise your voice if you are not being heard, right? So these were the few basic things. Now, according to the book, what are the needs of a consumer, or what is the need for this protection, consumer protection? First is that it is a moral responsibility of business to protect and promote the interest of the consumer. It is the responsibility of a business that it should protect and promote the interest of a consumer. Second, that business is a part of a society and it gets material, manpower, machinery, etc., etc. Therefore, it is obliged to supply the right product. See, business is a part of a society and you are also a part of the society. So, when you are serving the society cannot fool you, it cannot cheat you. So, it is their responsibility that the society should provide you everything that you are providing them, okay? When you are not cheating them, the society is also not supposed to cheat you, okay? And in any case, the society in the market is not supposed to cheat you. Then, basic functions of business is to satisfy the needs. Therefore, the consumer satisfaction should be the priority, right? Consumer satisfaction should be the priority, and everything should be in such a manner that you are not being fooled, you are not being cheated, and ultimately you are satisfied. So these are the few basic things that that are needed, and because of this we need consumer protection, right? So now next we have is meaning of consumer exploitation. According to the book we are moving. So the second is consumer exploitation. Now what do you mean by consumer? What do you mean by consumer exploitation? Now see, consumer exploitation means harming the interest of a consumer in various ways. It means harming the consumer in various ways. You are exploiting somebody. Okay, means you are exploiting them, you are harming them, you are fooling them, or you are hurting them in sort of means by doing sort of activities. Now it can be financial harm, it can be mental harm, it can be physical harm also. Okay, so it can be, exploitation can be a lot of types. When consumers do not get value for their money due to dishonesty on the part of the trader or the manufacturer, consumer exploitation takes place. When you are being fooled, when the manufacturer is not honest with you. You are paying 50 rupees, but actually you get the product for 20 rupees only. What is this? This is exploitation. You are being exploited because you are getting a bad product, or you are getting false services, whereas you are paying actual amount of money. Okay, where you are actually paying a lot of amount and you are getting half of it, or maybe not even half of it. So this is what? This is consumer exploitation, means harming or hurting the consumers in several manners. Right? Now we have types of exploitation. First is overcharging. Okay, overcharging, when you are being charged over the price. Okay, which the prices are unjustified and they're higher, and you know that this product costs not more than 10 rupees, but actually it has 50 rupees. So that is what? That is overcharging. So that is exploitation. You're being charged over the value of that product. Second is underweighing. Okay, underweighing. Underweighing means that every one of you might have watched the movie Nayak. In that there is a scene where that the seller, the ration person, he weighs the ration with false measurements. Okay, with false measurement units, he weighs that and he gets caught. So that is what? That is underweighing. Underweighing means that you are actually fooling the customers by not measuring the things properly. Okay, your weighing machine is already in such a manner that it is not showing the actual weight. Okay, you have fooled the customers by not giving them the right quantity. Then adulteration. It is very important because a definition also comes of this point that define adulteration. So that adulteration is what? Adulteration, you might have studied from a very long time, that adulteration means mixing of unwanted products or mixing of unwanted particles into the items which are maybe edible. Okay, like mixing undesirable elements in goods, that is horse dung in dhania powder. Also you must have heard about mixing red chopped paper in saffron. Okay, etc, etc. Chalk dust in talcum powder. Okay, so that is what? That is adulteration, means mixing of unwanted elements or mixing of unwanted substance in the products. Then we have is misleading advertisements. Misleading advertisements Example, Fair and Lovely. Okay, Fair and Lovely, long way back, what happened? That there was a person, maybe I think from South India, there was a person. Fair and Lovely used to say that you will be turned from black to white. Okay, if you apply this, you will be fair. You will be fairer than your earlier complexion. So what happened? That the people from South, they are generally dark because of the temperature, right? You must have studied that in geography. So what happened? That there was a person from South India, and he applied that. He was born dark. Okay, he was born with a beautiful dark color. So what happened, that he applied that, right? There was no point that he will be turned from black to white, or he will be turned from chocolate to milk powder. Okay, there was no scope of turning from this to that. He applied that, and what he did, that definitely there was no, he wasn't turning into that desired color. So he claimed that, he sued the Fair and Lovely company. Sued means he put a case on them that this company has cheated me. They are fraud. They are cheaters, and all sort of claims. He has done against them. So what happened, that they had to fight the case. The company had to fight the case with that person, that opponent, and ultimately the company lost, because their product said that, their product claimed that yes, it will do so, whereas that person was same as he was earlier, and in return the company had to pay compensation to that person. Okay, so that is what misleading advertisements are. From then what happens is that whenever now you will see, there is always written a sentence that terms and conditions apply. From that case, what the company did, the terms and conditions applied. Terms and conditions means that if you are certain of age criteria, or maybe color, or maybe some things, then we don't claim it to be that if you're 50 age, then my product doesn't claim to be turning you to 30. Okay, so terms and conditions means that it applies in certain conditions, and there are some terms that which should be followed. So the company has to pay compensation to that person. He enjoyed that compensation. Okay, whereas the company has to suffer. So these are sort of misleading advertisements, that they say that you will, like example, green teas are there, that if you drink it, you will reduce to a skeleton. Deepika Padukone, she does that oats ad. Okay, that if you will eat this, you will be zero size, you will be a skeleton. These are all false. They doesn't happen. Okay, you don't eat food for 1 week and you will automatically reduce to skeleton. So these are what certain misleading advertisements are, right? Then we have is methods of consumer protection. Now there are certain methods of protecting the consumer. Now first is business self-regulation. Business self-regulation is that the community itself can help in achieving consumer protection and satisfaction through self-discipline. Self-discipline means that you are maintaining yourself, you are aware, you are educated. Second is consumer self-help. Every consumer must be alert, as self-help is the best. He should educate himself and know his rights. Consumer self-help. Self-help is the best help. We say that. Means if you help yourself, you will be happy. You do not have to seek for the others' help. So you should educate yourself. You should make yourself aware. Be a good consumer. Be a rational consumer. Consumers associations. There are certain associations. There are certain voluntary associations. Okay, which can educate and awaken the consumer, that they give education rights, explain education rights, they give education to the consumers. Fourth is government regulations. Now definitely it doesn't happen, if anything doesn't happen to you, like help doesn't happen to you, so you can definitely go and you can definitely knock the doors of the government, right? So these were the few basic things. Now, then we have is importance of consumer awareness. You must have heard about Jago Grahak Jago. That is what? These are the types of slogans which help the consumers gaining awareness. Okay, that there are certain campaigns which work for making the consumer aware, and they should be practiced and they should be followed. So consumer exploitation occurs largely due to the ignorance of the consumer. Why does consumer exploitation happen? Why somebody will cheat you? Somebody will cheat you only when you are not educated, when you are not aware. Okay, in order to hit those people, educate yourself, make yourself aware, right? So consumers who are aware of their rights are not likely to be exploited. Aware and careful consumers can oppose attempts made to exploit them. You can also take government measures, you can also take government's help. Like you can file a case, you can make a complaint against certain companies or certain brand shopkeepers. Also you can complain, you can file a complaint. Okay, the people, those who are running their shops without GST number, you can file a complaint against them also. And the people, those who are running their shops with a GST number, it is very easy to file a complaint against them because they are registered under the government, right? So it is just that you have to take measures, you have to take certain steps, right? You have to take certain steps. So these were the 4 topics: that need for the consumer protection, then we have meaning of consumer exploitation, types of it, what is the importance, and what are the methods. Now next we will do Consumer Protection Act 1986, that we will do in the next video, right? And I hope that this was clear to you. It's very easy, it is very interesting, right? So prepare this topic by heart. Till then, take care, bye bye.